Hello, welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Becca, and today I am talking about the series that I need to finish. Okay, so this is a really weird video for me to sit down and film because I am the kind of person that actually finishes a series that I start. So I don't wait months between reading books in series because I would forget everything about them and have to start the entire series again. So what I normally do is I'll pick up, say, the first book in a series, and then I'll read, when I finish that, I'll read a different book, and then I'll read the second book in the series, read a different book, and then the third book in the series, and I will continue like that. Also, for new books in a series that are coming out, I will then reread the entire series in the months up until the release of the new book, and I am really quite good at that. For example, I think last year my rereads were the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, ready for the last book, and also Red Queen, and I'm rereading Red Queen again this year, ready for the final book. So I am quite good at keeping up with things like that. However, I do have a handful of series that I have just sort of fell behind with, and I'm just gonna tell you what they are and the reasons that I haven't finished the series. The first one of these is one that I don't have physical copies of, and that is the Shades of Magic series by V.E.Schwab. I read A Darker Shade of Magic when it was new, so just over 2 years ago maybe. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't love it. I thought it was missing a certain spark, so I did read the second book, and then I was waiting on the third book, and it wasn't a priority for me to reread the series to get to the last book, so I just didn't. Thinking on it now, I can't really articulate into words what I felt was missing from this series, but it just wasn't a huge thing for me. I think I give the books either 3 or 4 stars, so I did enjoy them, and I do want to give them another chance in physical form. But I just haven't got around to buying the books yet because, like I said, it just hasn't become a priority for me anymore. But I am hoping that I can reread this series, complete it, and love it like everybody else does. Then we have one from my childhood, and that's the George and Nicolson series by Louise Renison, which you can see I have all of them here. So what happened with these is they were like my absolute favourite books in high school and college. However, I think when the final book came out, I had just gone to college and reading sort of fell behind, and I just never actually got around to reading that last book. So I have read all like 10 books in this series apart from the last one, and I am ashamed of myself because this whole story focuses on, well, the first few are about just one guy, and then another guy comes in, and then I think towards the end of the last book that I read, there's these 2 guys have both come back, and there's also another guy that's kind of always been there, and she has to pick between them all in the last book, and I never found out. But at the same time, I have managed to avoid spoilers for this series, so I still have no idea. And these are going to be super quick reads for me to reread them again. They're like 200 pages, and it's diary format with really big text. So I should have no problem getting through these, but I need to get on this because I'm not sure if I'll enjoy them as much now that I'm a lot older, because they are quite childlike, but I really did love them, and I really need to know what happens. Then we have The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. Now these I did give 3 stars, and that is because they are just average, plain and simple. They are forgettable books. They meander on for a lot of pages with not a lot happening, though if you strip this down to the bare bones of the plot, I really did enjoy it. This is about a girl who's the Sin Eater's daughter, and the Sin Eater is somebody who goes to a funeral and eats a variety of foods to represent the sins the person who has died has committed, and then once all the sins have been eaten, then the soul of the person can be free. And she is sort of chosen by the royal family because when she touches people, they die. And that's all I'm really going to say about it. The second book then follows a different character, and I'm not sure about the third book because I haven't finished it. There seems to be a theme in this where I've read the first books in a series and then I just don't bother to read the last one, which is really annoying because I make it hard for myself because I have to reread more. But what happened with this is that I didn't quite need to reread the series because I'd read it less than 6 months before the last book came out, but I couldn't quite fit it into my TBR, and now it's got to the point where I do have to reread it, and it was just kind of average. But I do own the last book, and to be honest, they're pretty quick reads. They're short, they're 300 pages a book. They're just quite slow. I enjoyed the second one more than the first one, but this one, I think the first 3/4 of it are not very good, and then the end is a little bit more exciting. But we'll see where the series concludes when I do finally get around to reading this. And then the last one is the Snow Like Ashes series by Sarah Rosh. I had the idea to do this video actually because this author is just coming out with a new book that I would like to read, and then I remembered that I still haven't got the last book in this series, and this one was another average one that I felt was really missing a spark, although everything about this screams something I should love. This is about sort of like Throne of Glass, where all the people from one of these kingdoms in the world have ended up in slave camps, and I think they escape somehow and go to claim back their kingdom. All of the kingdoms in this world are seasons, and I think the court of the winter sort of area is the ones that are oppressed, and I think they're being oppressed by spring, although I don't remember. Because I read these before BookTube and I never really thought so much about what I was reading, I can't really articulate why I didn't love these, but they just fell a little bit flat. And the reason that I haven't read the third one of this yet is, one, because I have to reread them, and two, because I have them in US hardbacks and I'm kind of resisting having to purchase the third one because I'll have to buy the one that matches the set, but I'm not super into the series. But yeah, that's essentially why I haven't read these. And just an honorary mention, because this is pretty much the only other series on my shelves that I haven't caught up on that have new books already out, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I have not yet read Tower of Dawn, and that's just because this is such a large series, so I thought instead of rereading it all last year to read Tower of Dawn, I would skip it, wait till this year, do a full reread of the series and read Tower of Dawn for the first time, as well as the conclusion of the series in October, September, whenever this book is out. But that's the only reason that I haven't finished these. I have read most of them, but I'm also doing this for the bonus season because it's going to be a 7-book series. Instead of rereading it every year, I'm just going to reread it every other year when there's 2 new books for me to read instead of just the one. So that's everything for this video. Please let me know if you have any series that you need to get to that you've started and haven't finished. And as usual, please don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. If you head into the down bar below, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, and also a link to my Bookish body, butter and candle website, and the Instagram for that if you'd like to check any of that stuff out. That's all from me today. Bye!